There is a lie out there in society that if you want to do the faith thing, go right ahead. Do your faith thing. Step out of reality. You want to go to church on Sunday, step out for your hour, do that, and then get back to it. Get back to living real life. There's that mindset. I want to break that lie right now for you. That faith and life are meant to be integrated. And they can come together fully so that there's an integrity to your life as a Catholic person, living in the world, but living with the consciousness of God, and it all fits together. It might mean that we have to do our job with more integrity, because it's not like I can be two people. I can be the Catholic good dad, and then I can be the schemer, you know, and the guy who climbs over people to get to the next rung. So there are implications to trying to be a person of integrity. So for the sacrament of reconciliation, which has already happened, here's the homework I give parents. Practice forgiveness in the home. To the degree that you do forgiveness well, the sacrament of forgiveness will make sense to your kids. Connecting. Okay? For the Eucharist, what's your homework? What am I going to give you and say, you got to go home and do this to show the kids that this faith thing and this life thing, you know what, they overlay. What do you think your homework is going to be in that regard? It's a little nuanced. Do meals well. Because here at Holy Cross and every Catholic church, we have a big table. It's an altar. It's a sacred table. And on that table, we share a meal, a sacrificial meal. But it's a meal with food. I want your kids experiencing beautiful family meal. At least once a week, twice a week. I know it's hard, you know, to herd the cats and get everybody there. And the phone's off or down or away. And we're going to spend time together. We're going to talk. We're going to look each other in the eye. We're going to be together. Does that sound nice? You got to do it. This is your homework. Some real quality meals. We're going to talk. We're going to share our stories, the story of our day, our lives with one another. That's intimate. And we're breaking bread. You know, the Italians know as well as anybody. That's intimate. That's powerful. To share food together is a holy act. I want your kids to experience that in your home, at your small dinner table, under your small roof, so that when you come to your Catholic big dinner table, under the big roof of your parish church, it'll feel right and natural. Small family, small Sunday supper, big family, big Sunday meal of the Eucharist. They start to see this is a place where we come together as family to share a meal. Bigger, different, but there's a connecting point there. So that's your homework, is do some really great family meals. Okay? And we have to get away from the idea that going to Mass is stepping out of reality. It is stepping into the deeper regions of reality. There's nothing more real that you can do than to stop and pray. You are connecting with the God of eternity, the creator of the universe, or the multiverse that's out there now. They talk about many universes. That God who created all of that wants to be in intimate relationship with you now. And you don't need a cell phone plan that goes outside the country to do it. Just open yourself to the presence of God and enter into engagement with God. This is what God hungers for more than anything. Intimate relationship with you. And if you can do that, then you can model it for your children. And they have a chance to experience it as well. You know, as a new parent, I reflect upon how much parents love their children. What do you want for your children?
To be happy.
To be happy, grounded, healthy, safe. I've concluded that what I must do with Dan, now Matthew as well, what I must do as Catholic dad is I must first and foremost make sure they know God. And of course, Jesus is God made human, so I have to introduce them to Jesus. Ultimately to the Holy Spirit, too. They're going to know God, and they're going to know the love of God. They're going to know that they are loved by God. And that they are invited to love back. To be in relationship with the God of eternity and the universe. And I think that doing that will ground them and position them best for success in life, for reaching their potential, being their full selves. If they know that it's okay. You know, okay, if Danny's 17 and his girlfriend just dumped him, it's okay. It's okay. Because there's a bigger context to all this. The God of eternity loves you more than anything. So, happiness and success and safety, I think all fit under the umbrella of let's start by introducing them to God and living as a family. Imperfectly, hear that word imperfectly, but living as a family in God's love. You know, the safety thing makes me recall my dad, who was married before my mom, and had a family and 2 boys. And 2 weeks after I was born, his older son, 18, committed suicide. Drug overdose, intentional. He was struggling with things. Can you imagine being a parent who's just had a child and just loses a child? And he felt responsible. He felt like he did not do everything he could. There were signs, and he was an important guy. He ran a television station here back then in the 60s. He was a big deal guy. And he probably wasn't as attentive as he should have been. You know, he said to me one Christmas night, fireplace was roaring and he had had plenty to drink, and he opened up to me and said, you know, this thing about closure for the birds. I was probably 25 at the time. He said, there isn't a time I walk over the Michigan Avenue Bridge where I don't stop and look out at the water and think about jumping in. To lose a child. There's a lot of danger out there for our children, and it's not just school shootings. We can have armed guards at our schools, and that doesn't make our kids safe.